Hello, we're going to be covering PayPal today. We're going to be talking about our key level areas that we need to pay attention to, especially if we're looking for any type of bounce. And then towards the end of the video, I will talk about the overall company and what I think is currently going on. And I'll go ahead and start off that seeing a massive dump from 300 all the way down to $100. I do believe that this is extremely exaggerated. That is the way that I'm going to put this. That is a massive sell-off, especially for a well-known established company. So if we take a look at PayPal for a long-term trend, you will be able to see that we did create higher lows, which means that we had a beautiful sloping support. We had a low here, we had a higher low here, we had a higher low here, right? However, we did not hold here. You could say that PayPal does have another long-term sloping support, and you could say that we're right at it right at this moment. You can see we have a low here. We did get a dip here, and obviously we're hitting it right now at this area. The big question is are we going to get a bounce here, or do we have some more downside? If we take a look at our EMAs, remember the EMAs help you determine the overall trend. They were slowly increasing to the upside, and they are both curling to the downside at this current moment. We did get a bounce a long time ago on the 50 EMA multiple times, and whenever things happen with the pandemic, you can see that we did get a bounce off the 200 EMA. However, we have broken below these key level areas, right? So normally you want to stay above these EMAs to be bullish. So right now we're definitely in a bearish territory whenever it comes to PayPal. But as stated, where is our key level support that we are going to be looking for? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that right now. So whenever it comes to PayPal, we do have some horizontal supports. We're gonna start our first one, which is gonna be right here, which is gonna be about 125. Obviously, the price is sitting at 105. You can see whenever it comes to PayPal that we did have a strong support, right? It should have played as a support area. Almost looked like it did, right, with these candles, but we failed below that, right? We dropped below it. It does look like our next key level support is going to be right here in this area. So we're going to be looking probably at about, technically it's going to be 105. It's going to be anywhere between 110 and 105, which is right where we are, okay? So it does look like there is a little bit of support there, simply because of right here. You can see that there was a lot of price action. This was all the way from 2019, so from March 2019 all the way basically a whole year. So from 2019 March 2020 March, this played as a strong support area, right, which was really good. So it's good to see that PayPal held that area. So we are currently back testing that area. Our next key level support, if we happen to continue down, which is possible, we would be looking for another support area, which is going to be all the way down here, and this is at $85. We're still talking about another big drop for PayPal. The big question is, will we go down that far? That is what I would like to know personally. So as I was talking about earlier, remember we do have our key sloping supports, right? But there's one thing I do want you to see here, okay? I showed you these sloping supports, but there is still another one which is way down here, okay? Like it is way down here. So it comes all the way to this area, which is technically around $85. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is right here. There's a low, there's a higher low, and there's a higher low, and there's a higher low. This is technically the first sloping supports that PayPal has ever created. Okay, this is the first sloping support. So the big question is do we have a lot more downside? Well, in my own personal opinion, I will be looking for PayPal to get a bounce between this area. I know it's a big drop. I know it's a big drop between $100, right? And then all the way to $85. I know it is a big drop, but this is where I'm going to be looking for a long-term play, okay? So we're not that far away. I mean, obviously it's not as big as a drop all the way from 300 to 100, but it is still a small little drop. And the reason we're calling this out is because there's still a lot of support in these areas. I don't think we'll break below 85. I don't even know if we'll even get there, but there is still a lot of support and resistance right here in these areas. You can just see that there is a lot going on. I don't know if we could pull up the TPO profile at this moment. Yes, we can. Give me 1 second here, and we'll see if the study will show key level supports here. But whenever it comes to PayPal, yeah, so look over here. Okay, if we take a look over here on the far right, these gray bars, You can see these big areas play as supports, and there's definitely a lot of support right here at 105. Next key level support, as stated, is right here at 85. So I will be looking for a big support area there, okay, in between 105 and 85. I don't know if you're looking to buy shares or if you're looking to buy options. I actually just bought options today, but they are for 2024, which means technically I do have a few years for this to play out. So I do believe that we do still have some more downside here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the short term real quick, and then we'll continue on from there, and I'll tell you how I feel about the company. Actually, real quick, before we continue on, I want you to see that even on the RSI, look at the RSI. Look how oversold this is. Like, the RSI is definitely way oversold. Okay, we're hitting number 15. I don't think PayPal has ever been oversold. This is the first time it is oversold. We do have some massive sloping resistances with the RSI, so you can see like right over here, right? Eventually that's going to affect us, and then obviously we still have a steep sloping resistance, which is right here as well for PayPal. So we have it's almost guaranteed we're going to break out of this one. The question is when is it going to happen? So my own personal opinion is I'm actually bullish, even though it looks really bad. I do think this is going to be a great opportunity to pick this up. Okay, let's go and take a look at the short term real quick. We'll take a look at the daily just real quick here. So yeah, you can see daily, long term. We had a death cross on our EMAs, which is bearish. We do have a long term sloping resistance. You'll probably have to ask me about this again in the future once we get there, but we have a massive sloping resistance here, which we're going to fight eventually in the future, right? Price action will probably come up and hit it and get rejected and may sell off, right? That is going to be our sloping resistance that has been holding us down. Every single time price action hits it, it just kind of sells off, which is not good. If we take a look here too, we do have another short-term sloping resistance, which is not good as either. So two sloping resistances here really doesn't help us out. We have a death cross, along with we are below our EMAs as stated, which is considered bearish. If we go ahead and dive down a little bit further, let's say like the 4-hour time frame, you'll see for the 4-hour time frame, look at that. I mean, like this thing is just still tanking. So we don't have any signs of any type of bullish price action yet. Okay, like there are no signs. So we still have a lot more downside. And as I told you in our last video, you know, if you're looking for a short-term bounce, I do believe that we have one coming up. And I also believe that this is probably going to be a good long-term play whenever it comes to PayPal. So I think this would be a good long-term entry. As I said, I bought options for 2024. So if we just take a look, yeah, it looks pretty bearish still. So I'm probably going to be expecting a bounce here in between probably 105 all the way to 85. 85 is probably my last resort here. Like, I just can't see PayPal breaking down that low, especially coming all the way from $300. But anyways, so if you're looking for an entry, I would say anywhere between 105 to 85. That's a big drop, but that should be our last key level support. Okay, you can still see that we've been selling off our last earnings. You know, obviously it was pretty weak with the guidance, but hey, it is what it is. So I think so whenever it comes to PayPal with the company, I'll go ahead and tell you right now that I do believe in them long term. They've always been here. They've been excellent, especially for small merchants. Right, they provide a lot of things. Like, I use it almost every single day, every single month. But whenever it comes to PayPal, I think the only issues here is obviously we got the tech bubble. So definitely a lot of these tech companies have been extremely overvalued. Not only that, but we had the pandemic where everybody was kind of forced to use online payment systems, and PayPal is one of those. And then number 3, it seems like a lot of the big companies such as like MasterCard, Visa, all these other companies are kind of trying to do the same thing that PayPal does. Like, they're trying to implement new things, or let's say that they're trying to make, instead of buying like a pair of shoes for $100, you can split it up to 4 payments. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to do the same thing. Obviously, that is one of their big competitors, but I definitely think long term, I don't think we have anything to worry about. I think we have a little bit more downside. But PayPal, I think it's going to be a great opportunity to pick it up, especially down here at these levels for a long-term play. Whenever it comes to a short-term play, we still don't have it yet. As I said, we're looking for a bounce, but I really want to break out the short-term sloping resistance before we start to get a lot more momentum to the upside. So right now, we're still extremely bearish. Long-term, I would pick it up here soon. Short-term, mid-term, I would still give it a little bit more time, see if we can hit a key level area, and hopefully get a bounce off these sloping resistances and get a big move back up here to the upside. So anyways, that is all I have for you. I do, like I stated, think it's going to be a great company. They've been here for a long time. I don't see them going anywhere. They're pretty dominant. Obviously, they have a lot going on with competitors. As stated, we had a lot going on with the with the pandemic, and then obviously tech bubble stuff with the interest rates. I think that's just getting to it right now. That's all I think here. So, anyways, keep eyes on it. I'm in it for long term, so I just got it today. So I wish you the best of luck. Have a great one, and ciao.